Hello everyone, it's David again here with Season 3 of Babylon 5 Episode 4, Passing Through Gethsemane. This is one of the several episodes of Babylon 5 that was directed by Adam Nimoy. If the last name sounds familiar, yes, he is the son of everybody's favorite half-Vulcan, Leonard Nimoy. Anyway, for those who may not be aware, Gethsemane is an actual physical place. It's a garden between Jerusalem and the Mount of Olives, where Jesus of Nazareth went with his disciples after the Last Supper and where he was eventually betrayed by Judas. Now, for those who want to look it up, that's referring to Matthew chapter 26, verses 36 to 46. And Gethsemane is the Aramaic word for oil press, probably from all the olives that are ground or found around there. They take it, they put it into a press unit, and then that expels the oil that you use for cooking. So, we start on, and Ivanova and Brother Edward are arguing over Brother Theo and Sheridan playing a game of chess. And it reminds me a lot when I was in one of the houses right across from the street from my university. I was living there. I was playing against, they were, a couple of the guys there really liked to play chess, and they were really super good at it. Well, one night, the guys were off, and it was just me and James that was there. And James is like, David, I'm getting bored here. Why didn't we play a game of chess? And I'm like, I don't know chess worth piddly poo. I said, you're going to wipe the board with me. And he said, that's okay. I just want practice and all that good stuff. And don't worry about it. You'll do fine, and I'll help you out if you get really, really stuck. But I just need something to do until the guys get back, and then I can play against, some of the other guys. I said, okay, but I'm going to warn you, you're going to beat the socks off of me. And so we got to playing, and about 6 or 7 moves later, I looked down, and all of a sudden his face just went long, and I said, checkmate. And sure enough, all the girls around the house were like, what? Because they were all expecting him to be saying checkmate. And they all ran over, and sure enough, yes, I had beaten him in about 7 moves. So, have no idea how I did it. It's just, as they say, the beginner's luck. But anyway, Brother Theo, as we all know, beats Sheridan. Kosh pages Ivanova, and to meet him in Bay 13. And so she goes, any Vorlon ship is docking. And she goes, Ambassador Kosh, you asked to see me. And he says, yes, formality, ritual, you should be informed, returning. And as he says that, who should come out from his ship but everyone's favorite telepath, Lyta. And then we cue, she says, hi, I told you I'd be back, and then we cue the entrance. Brother Edward is played, just brain fart there, Brother Edward is played by Bad Dourif, D-O-U-R-I-F. He's born March 18th, 1950, age 71 in Huntington, West Virginia. He's played Star Trek, Lon Studer, a multi-murderer. He's also played Chucky in the Child's Play series. Again, it's like, if you need a multiple, psychopathic serial killer, you call Brad Dourif, I guess. But anyway, he's got a long list of projects that he's done over the years in both television as well as film. So worth to check it out. Lyta says we zip it on in, and she's kind of debriefing Sheridan and Garibaldi and Dr. Franklin. She was in a life pod, or she went out on a ship for 3 days. Nothing happened. She ended up giving the guy the last of her money. He sent her off in a life pod with the last of the food. She started sending a telepathic signal in all directions. for 5 days, and after she passed out, she woke up on the Vorlon homeworld. So, and Kosh said Lyta will be working for him, and that he is going to protect her should evil Alfred Bester comes after her. But as we all know, a little bit later, that only takes you so far. We zip in, and Brother Edward is talking to some, I think, Australian businesswoman, and he stands up and a black rose falls from his bag. And we all know Brother Edward had a previous lifetime, or life experience. We zip in, and Lyta is in med lab getting worked over by Dr. Franklin, and she's in better health than when she left. But she has an unusually high level of oxygen, and it's led a lot of people to think that maybe at that point she was carrying Kosh inside of her. A lot of things like a hiatal hernia got fixed and some other stuff, and I'm like, damn, if he can fix my high blood pressure, my obesity problem, my herniated discs, my pinched and displaced nerve root, all of that, hell, I'll sign up. Just got to upchuck a Vorlon every so often. Hell, I'll sign up for that. You betcha. Brother Edward interviews Delenn about Minbari beliefs. And basically, it boils down to universe is investigating itself for meaning. And we are the universe made manifest trying to understand itself. A lot of that is Far Eastern, I should say, mysticism, such as Buddhism and Hinduism. So kind of a rip out right from those pages. We zip in, and she goes, basically, what is the defining moment of your belief system? And Brother Edward ends up talking about Gethsemane, how Jesus didn't have to be there. He could have postponed things, but in the end, he knew that he had to kind of stick around to atone for the sins of all mankind. So you believe if you're a Christian. And sorry, there's a weird sound going on behind me. My cat is snoring. So I was like, what the hell is that sound? But anyway, as Brother Edward is finishing up his interview with Delenn, he takes a tube and ends up coming out, and a Centauri telepath bumps into him. And basically what happens, as we all know, is the Centauri telepath got rid of a mind wipe. Brother Edward was a serial killer in his previous life. Not exactly something... What would you do if you woke up and you found out that you were a horrible human, like all of a sudden you found out you were a mass murderer? I mean, me having been a nurse, I couldn't fathom what it would be like to kill another human, because I've seen death so much, it's like I can't fathom deliberately doing that to another human being. Even if it was a mercy killing or whatever, I couldn't fathom that. If any of you have any ideas, please feel free, but, we learned that Brother Edward has been with the Order for 8 years, doing many good deeds, according to Brother Theo. And I guess what JMS is trying to ask here is how much penance is enough? Does God forgive murder? Okay? And to be honest, I don't have a good answer for that. Yes, as a nurse, I've taken care of murderers before. And one guy actually had murdered a nurse friend of mine. But, that's where I kind of developed that dichotomy of, Nurse David and David out in public. David out in public might be all for the death penalty, but Nurse David has a different opinion. David out in public might have an opinion or want to get revenge or something like that on somebody who murdered his friend. But Nurse David can't do that. I can't treat one person one way and another person another way. I treat everybody with the same kindness, caring, and respect, Because as the old saying goes, there but for the grace of God go I. So, yeah, I guess JMS, that's what he's asking, is how much penance is enough for your crimes? We also learned that Brother Edward had killed 9 people on Orion Colony, but things got screwed up and he wound up with Brother Theo instead. We see here the Sheridan and everybody tracks down the Centauri telepath, and Lisa forces the info from the Centauri telepath as to where these people are going to do the deed and get their revenge on Brother Edward. And we see that this is going to be the first in a long list of favors. And literally no thanks, Lyta, as they're running out the room. I mean, it's just like Brown 42 and boom, they all take off. Not even a thanks on the way out the door. And of course, as we all learn later, that's not going to be lost on Lyta. We find Brother Theo finds Edward in kind of a crucifix, kind of very symbolic for Christians at any rate. And I guess, does God forgive murder is the question. And Brother Theo gives him his last rites, which they call the penance of the sick now, I think, or something. One of my Catholic friends will have to clue me in on that one. But the guy who murdered Brother, not Brother Theo, but Brother Edward, Brother Malcolm ends up joining the order in Brother Edward's place. So, and Sheridan gets a nice pointed lesson in forgiveness from Brother Theo. And the episode ends in Lyta regurgitating Kosh back in his quarters. So, we now know that our favorite telepath is back, and she's got a mission. And that mission is whatever the Vorlons want her to do. Plus whatever everybody else wants her to do, but no thanks or money required, I guess. But at any rate, hope you all are having a good holiday season as I tape this. It's December 5th. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hope to see you all next episode.